1, 2, 3, 4. So
well, hello and welcome to Monday's edition of Movie News here at MB. We'd just like to thank you once again for joining us here on our YouTube channel and of course our Twitch stream. Hope you all had a lovely weekend. I'm your co-host Stephen John McLaughlin, and to my right and on your left is of course our co-host,
struggling mightily to use this mouse,
John Christopher
mightily.
Walsh. Now, John, we are going to be talking about Guillermo del Toro's new project, something we didn't know about. Been kept a secret. Well, it's been kept
Stephen,
quiet.
you know what's going to happen here?
Yeah.
When we go to the scene for you to speak about this on the article, it's going to be the wrong camera on again. But we'll sort it out.
Yes, we'll
get it sorted.
We'll get there in the
end.
end.
My mic's collapsing.
But that's what we're talking about, John, as you can see from our thumbnail and, of course, the main headline on today's show. Now, there might be slight pauses because I have worked out how to clip. That's a big achievement for me, and you probably saw, if you follow us on our YouTube channel, there's a few clips over the weekend.
Yes.
Practice makes perfect, as I was once told on FIFA, and
practice makes perfect.
ended up beating the guy. But anyway, John, Guillermo del Toro's Nightmare Alley wraps filming San Etienne. Yeah. Anyway,
well, you know who they are.
Yeah, yeah, beat him 1-0. Chelsea. He was. Anyway, after cancelling production in March, Guillermo del Toro's newest feature, Nightmare Alley, has recently and safely wrapped
Sounds
filming.
like Saddam Hussein
in Toronto.
Brother-in-law or something.
Yeah.
Nightmare Alley.
Yeah, that's
Chemical Alley.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, the pack of cards. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Anyway, moving swiftly on. Guillermo del Toro's newest project, Nightmare Alley. Can't think of it now.
No, you know what it is, Steve? I was watching Without Me last night. I'm down a rabbit hole on YouTube, watched some Eminem videos, and he's doing la 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 la. I've brought me back to 2002.
Yeah. Good
Chemical
video.
Alley was still alive.
That was a good video. He safely wrapped production in Toronto after secretly starting shooting in January. The team cancelled filming right before the industry shut down in response to the pandemic in March. Based on the novel by William Lindsay Gresham, Nightmare Alley is a psychological thriller that explores the dark side of show business and was first adapted for the silver screen in 1947. The Toro's recreation is accompanied by a star-studded cast. Now, I'm not going to say who's included, John. I'll let you do that in a little moment.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. On her Instagram, Nightmare Alley's co-screenwriter Kim Morgan revealed that the film's production wrapped on Saturday. Even though filming has ended, Disney-owned distributor Searchlight Pictures has not disclosed the film's release date yet. Over the summer, Guillermo del Toro spoke to IndieWire about the film's cancellation of shooting, saying, "We stopped to shoot a week before the industry shut down. We reacted super fast. We proposed the studio to stop as opposed to being asked to stop. That saved us. Nobody to my knowledge in the cast or crew got coronavirus. We were roughly 45% in. We were literally in the middle of a great scene. We went to lunch and talked to the studio, and when we came back we said, everyone leave your tools and leave now." This is coming in, of course, from Screen Rant. John, what's your take on that?
It's very interesting, Stephen. First and foremost, we're getting the intro again. So how professional is this? First and foremost, I like it because it's a period piece. That's the first point I want to say, and it is a period piece because I've seen photographs of Bradley Cooper and, of course, Kate Blanchett. Some people, Kate Blanchett, some people like to say. I just call it Blanchett. Kate Blanchett. So like Thierry Henry, you know. I don't do that. And I think it was Rooney Mara too. So I know that it's a period piece, and I love me some period piece movies when they're done right. And Stephen, we already know that Shape of Water was a kind of future alternative universe period piece. I always forget her name, the lead actress who won Best Actor. And that, or Best Actress in
terrible.
That movie.
Yeah,
she was in Paddington 2. She plays the mother figure. I know Hugh Bonneville. I know Ben Whishaw. I don't know her name. It begins with an S or something. I'm going
to look it up, John, because it is annoying me.
But it's a period piece, so we know it's in good hands. We know that Guillermo can do nice. Sally Hawkins. I knew it was an S. That's the limit of my memory, clearly. The aspartame is riddling my brain. There's literally holes being created in my brain, I believe, with this, and it's destroying,
like a sponge,
my ability to say or recall words, names. Same thing. It's just alternate words. But Stephen, I digress. That aside, aspartame aside, horrendous memory for names of famous people aside, a nice period piece. It had a nice aesthetic to it as well, so I know that you'll get that right, that one aspect. So that's exciting me. The other thing that's exciting me, as you did say, the cast Mary Steenburgen, is that how you say her name?
Steenburgen.
Steenburgen.
Yeah.
Kate Blanchett, Bradley Cooper, Paul Anderson of Peaky Blinders fame. Love this guy, man. Absolutely brilliant. My name is Arthur Shelby on behalf of the Peaky Blinders. I love that guy. He's brilliant. Can't do his voice. It's so deep. Rooney Mara, Tony Collette, William Dafoe, Ron Perlman. I don't know Hope McCallany, but he's in there. David Strathairn. I recognise his face from somewhere. I'm going to look into him in a moment.
Yeah.
Richard Jenkins, Tim Blake Nelson. What a cast this is. And as I've already said, we know he can get performances out of actors. Look at the performance he got out of Sally Hawkins. She's standing alongside some amphibian man, firing into him.
Michael Shannon.
And he managed. Michael Shannon, he was brilliant in that movie, wasn't he? His finger got cut off, and then the car. He was, and this is a guy who's apparently really easy on the set, cracking jokes, a bit of a prankster. So he was a menacing figure. Yeah. So he can get those performances, and the concept as well is the final thing that excites me. This darker side to the entertainment industry, Hollywood. Psychiatrist is involved. She's manipulating a manipulator. And we've already seen this concept, Steve, in the dark underbelly of fame and entertainment, and A Star Is Born. There's been 4 of them, I think. So we've seen it sort of exposed in that sort of those movies. And it was done very well. A guy ultimately killing himself because he couldn't handle being replaced. His time was up. So I like it when they delve into the darker side of fame, because it's not all glitz, champagne and flutes and going onto red carpets. So I like the look of this, man. It's a great director. It's a brilliant cast. It's a great concept, and I love period drama pieces. This could be an Oscar winner if he gets it right. Yeah, I think so. I think,
John, I never knew anything about this film. It was kept under wraps for a long period, but Guillermo del Toro for me is an event director, very much in the vein of Chris Nolan or Quentin Tarantino. And you're right, maybe more light and fluffy and a bit more comic bookish. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was tried to sort of delve into the sort of dark side of Hollywood, etc. It did it in a more sort of light, comical
through the
way.
Spectrum of Quentin's memory of Hollywood.
But I'm looking forward to this. I only picked up this article today. It only came out 20 hours ago, to be fair. But just the sound of this is right down my street. And you're right, the aesthetics, any film that Guillermo del Toro does, he always gets the right feel and the look down to a T. And it's always one of those things you notice about his films as well. It's his sort of trademark where he uses certain colours as well. Yeah. Especially with The Shape of Water, which I found he used a lot of sort of aqua sort of colours.
Absolutely,
which made sense. Obviously, it was obviously to do with the water theme. But I'm looking forward to it, John. That cast as well. That's an amazing cast. I'm just surprised with that sort of level of cast, quality, and obviously the director as well. How we've not even noticed this.
I'd heard something briefly about it, Stephen. I heard he was delving into it.
I didn't know, John.
Because obviously he won Best Actor, or Best Director, or Best Picture. I don't know if he did win Best Director. And then he went off and he done, what the hell was that called again, that horror movie? The one with multi-stories, it was for teens. 7 Deadly. It was like Tales of the Crypt type thing. Yeah. I know he'd done that. He produced and sort of worked on that. He's doing some animated thing. I think it's Pinocchio. And now he's doing this. So I was aware that this was in the works. I didn't know the cast was so good, and I wasn't aware of the concept, but I was vaguely aware of it. Stephen, I'm going to bring this up briefly, man, because I find this very intriguing. This is what I was saying about the actual aesthetics period piece. Look at Bradley Cooper there. Guy's got a fedora cap on. Look at the coat. The old sort of plaid coat and the suit, double-breasted suit. It's a great period piece. Look at that, man. Absolutely fantastic. Is that Rooney Mara there? I think it is. Might not be though.
I think it is.
Yeah, look at the period. The colours are really vibrant.
Yeah.
So there's something about that era, even their finest, with I think it was Hayley Atwell. It may not have been Hayley Atwell. It may have been the other one. And Sam Claflin. When you do that, and they had Bill Nye in that as well, and that was a period piece. It was really vibrant and that nostalgic sort of old school look. When you nail that with a good director, it can really pop aesthetically.
Yeah, definitely,
and we know this guy, I know for a fact Shape of Water won for best set design or something in the Oscars, so he knows how to create really interesting sets that look authentic. He knows how to do the period piece, as I did say. So I'm excited for this, man. This right up my street. I like period pieces. I like that dark underbelly being explored. It was Gemma Arterton who was in Their Finest, incidentally. That was a brilliant movie, by the way. I highly urge people, if you're into vibrant sort of period pieces, that was World War II. That was a great little movie as well, man. Kind of similar aesthetically to this, but hey ho, nothing to do with it.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, John, when we get a release date for this.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I'll certainly be either in a theatre or streaming or whatever state the world's in at that point.
What studio would it be?
Searchlight, was it not?
Fox Searchlight.
I think is that what I said in the
article, Fox
yeah.
Searchlight it is, because I mind looking at it. That's another positive for this. The likes of Jojo Rabbit and a huge array of other really well crafted, brilliant little movies come out of that studio. So that's another boon for this film. And it probably will go to streaming sales then, Stephen, because Disney are restructuring their entire company for streaming.
Well, we're about to talk about Disney, John.
Yes.
That's our next topic. And Disney Plus surpasses 86 million subscribers during Disney's 2020 Investor Day. CEO Bob Chapek announced Disney Plus has widely exceeded expectations with 86.8 million subscribers as of December 2nd. This is coming in from surprised. Screen rant. And Disney CEO Bob Chapek announced during Disney's Investor Day
that doesn't sound right, does it, Stephen? It should be Bob Iger. It's just wrong.
Disney Plus
Chapek.
Has
fancy pants
86.8 million subscribers as of December 2nd, saying the number has exceeded the company's wildest expectations. I doubt that very much. Very arrogant over there, I'm sure. The new numbers are up 13.1 million from the last reported number of 73 million subscribers in November.
Extraordinary stuff.
Yeah, the news came alongside the announcement that roughly 10 new Star Wars shows will be coming to Disney Plus over the next few years, as well as a plethora of other new originals for Marvel, Disney Animation and Pixar. The company revealed its plans to expand on Disney Plus's library of original content and exclusives over the coming years. I'm not got a effing choice, that's why. While Chapek previously made it clear that Disney won't completely abandon theatrical releases, hallelujah, it's also clear that the company intends to largely shift its focus to the streaming platform to give customers easier and safer access to their content. Considering the company's goal was to reach 60 million to 90 million subscribers by 2024, Disney Plus is in a good position. Certainly is. If that's what they were estimating, between 60 million and 90 million subscriptions by 2024, they're 4 years ahead, 4 years in front of their target. That's absolutely outstanding, John. But obviously, that goal was probably set out well before the pandemic as well. Yeah. But to have that amount of subscribers is obscene, John. It'll not be long till they're at 100 million. Probably maybe about February, March time, there will probably be about 100 million subscribers. Yeah. Certainly with all these new releases as well. I know that you covered it last week. We didn't really get a chance to talk about it because I think the next day we were doing the reviews for 1992, Scam 1992, that is.
Well, Stephen, I'm furiously trying to find out Netflix's current subscriber base, 195.15 million. Netflix, now they have had years upon years of a head start
on them, yeah.
They're the sort of behemoth of the streaming industry, or the streaming battle just now. I don't know what Amazon's raw numbers are. I need to try and find that out. But that's extraordinary, it really is. They went up 10 something million subscribers in 1 month. And I think that's probably down to the power of The Mandalorian Season 2, anticipation building for it. And the anticipation of what's to come, we'll get more Marvel stuff. WandaVision looks amazing. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Hawkeye's looking really, really good now. I'm getting more and more excited about that one. Haley Steinfeld's in that.
126 million.
126 million, so they're just a little bit below Netflix. So it's probably Netflix, Amazon, then you'd think it would probably be Disney Plus now. Maybe going out toe to toe with, I don't think Apple TV or TV Plus are anywhere near Disney's numbers, and it's because of that niche sort of stuff they've got going on here with the Disney brand, the animated classics, the merger with Fox, some of the family friendly Fox stuff, the National Geographic over in the States. I think they've got the likes of maybe Fox News and on the sports side of things connected in. Hulu, I think, is kind of part of it, but not really. It's separate. They've got many different things. Now we've got even more coming, Stephen. Certainly internationally, I don't know about North America, but we've got this Star Plus and Star coming out, and that's the R-rated sort of darker, more violent content, like Logan. We're getting the Planet of the Apes movies, a whole array of different R-rated stuff. Alien, I think, is on there. Maybe I don't know if that was Fox. maybe talking shite there, but I think I've seen Alien. So we're getting a more varied catalogue, and people are now anticipating that. And I think this number will only go up and up and up now into next year. I think with the news of 10 and Marvel and Star Wars TV shows coming out, all different kinds of content for younger generations, for older generations, and the continuing success of The Mandalorian, I think we're going to see this just go up and up and up. Disney have admitted, I don't know if it was Chapek or Iger, I thought it was Iger. It may have been Chapek though, because he is the man at the top now, but Iger's still hanging around. He's like Alex Ferguson when David Moyes was in charge at Man United.
The shadow, yeah.
He was a shadow in the stand looking down. So it's kind of like that. But he says that they definitely restructured the entire business. They confirmed that they have restructured their entire operation to focus on streaming content, direct-to-consumer content, not so much movies. I think they're now realising that this Netflix stuff, the onset of digital consumption, people want to stay in their houses. They've realised that is the market now. They're trying to cater to that primarily. It's not to say there's not going to be movies coming out, but with that in mind, they're just going to put more and more funds, endless bit of money into this streaming service. You've seen it with HBO Max. They're releasing, Warner Brothers releases directly to the streaming service. These companies are starting to try and manipulate this streaming war to their own gain. And I think we will see Disney Plus just exploding over the next year or so, because the content coming is ridiculous, man.
I would say within a decade they'll be number one.
Could be, man.
I think they will. I think once we get all these television series, up and running, and the strategy, to be fair to them, has been first class. And I think especially with Star Wars stuff, last year, not even as long as last year, it was a dirty word, Star Wars. They've knocked it out of the park, with The Mandalorian, and very cleverly. And a lot of people have accused that television series, second season that is, of maybe too much fan service. That's not what they're doing. What they're doing is they're introducing these characters now, so they can branch off and do their own stuff.
Steve, I can't believe
as we can see from
we've not had a Boba Fett TV
Ahsoka
show announced. Can't believe it.
I think
John, it's coming.
A lot of people are talking about it perhaps might get killed
off.
I
hope not.
Who knows? It would be a missed opportunity, I think. Especially obviously if Tamila Morrison wants to continue doing the role as well. It's ideal. It fits. And
he's a clone.
He's a clone.
Is it even Boba Fett? Is it the real one? Is it another clone?
Yeah, I never thought.
You
of
just
that,
don't know. You don't know these things.
John, incidentally, Apple are at 33.6 million subscribers, so they're
a long way behind.
They are a long way behind, but
they opened the same day as Disney Plus.
It's the content, though, isn't it? They've just not got as much in their back catalogue. But as I said, 10 years from now, I think Disney will be number one. I think they will surpass Netflix eventually. Mm-hmm. But Netflix, to their credit, have always stayed true to their own formula. I remember when they first started, and I didn't know this, that they were a sort of offshoot of Blockbuster Video, a way of
were they?
Getting your films.
Yeah, I was more a Global Video, man.
Well, I don't think we had Blockbuster for a very long time here. Global and Azad Video were the big ones here in Scotland. I don't know if anybody knows Azad Video, but I think that's the way it will go, because I think that they're building on their television work, their arc of their properties as well. Marvel stuff will be, we know what that's going to be like, because it's going to be the same people that were in the films and stuff like that, and it's all tying into the MCU. Yeah. Star Wars, as I said, is just exploded again on the sort of television format. We're getting to see Hayden Christensen coming back in the Obi-Wan series. I think that's probably the most exciting news I heard. I really want to see this actor redeem himself, because I think he's owed that. He's not a terrible actor by any accounts. If you look at his dialogue, it's certainly not, he wasn't the issue. No. Natalie Portman was horrendous as well, and she's a fantastic actor. Yeah. Ewan McGregor, Ian McDiarmid, they were all
Liam Neeson.
They all had terrible lines at one point. So Hayden Christensen was just probably the underdog, the sort of unknown.
Steve, did you see Dave Filoni speaking about the prequel trilogy? I tell you, it's eye-opening. This guy's knowledge, absolutely amazing. I'll need to send you the link.
Prequel
trilogy, right, speaking about the genius of it, how it sets up everything you see coming, and how it was an impossible task for George Lucas to sort of give us a refreshing story that we already knew the end to, and how he done it brilliantly with the Duel of Fates, and how the fate of Anakin could have went two ways.
Yeah.
If Liam Neeson's Qui-Gon Jinn had survived, he would have been a completely different character. Might not have been Darth Vader. He was the father figure.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan was more a brother figure.
Yeah.
So when he assumed his training, he didn't really want to train him. He'd done it out of a favour.
That's right.
That completely changed the fate of Anakin Skywalker. Everything. It's amazing. You need to watch the video. The guy is unreal.
Yeah.
And that's
on
why
YouTube, yeah?
on YouTube.
Yeah, I have to check that
Brilliant,
out. I
man.
do like listening to Dave Filoni. He's a very knowledgeable guy. He's a very good guy as well.
Yeah.
And he's a massive Star Wars fan, and that always helps when you're producing or directing Star Wars stuff. But yeah, it's good news, John. I don't know if you've got anything more to add on the Disney Plus stuff.
No,
but
only that it's getting better and better, Stephen. I says it with the R-rated content coming. I think it was Thursday there. This is going to open up the possibilities for this streaming service because it's been too niche, too family friendly.
Yeah, exactly. And I think as well, there was that sort of lull after The Mandalorian had sort of finished its run, its first season. There was this sort of lull where I was like, I've seen everything I want to see now, and
You were reviewing Marvel movies.
Yeah, there's nothing else to do, you know.
I've watched more National Geographic content than I probably have other content. It's incredible.
Yeah, I think so as well, John.
Documentaries.
Listen, we're going to move on anyway to our next topic. Long pause. Why Marvel is making a Fantastic Four movie before X-Men out of the Fox properties that Marvel Studios has gained the rights back to. They're starting with Fantastic Four before bringing the X-Men into the MCU. This is coming in from Screen Rant once again, and
our friend is gone.
that was my Ringo there. And I'll tell you something, I do like that Fantastic Four logo. It's an amazing logo.
Brilliant, isn't it?
It's looking good already. But
John Krasinski.
It is, yeah. I don't know if he's been confirmed, but that's a strong rumour that he's going to be playing. I can't remember the chap's name. Reed. I'm pretty sure that's his name. But I'll just read a little excerpt of this, John. Give us an indication of why, obviously, they're jumping the queue ahead of the X-Men, and it does kind of make sense. While the New Mutants did get its poor received release, it may not quite fit with the legacy of the original X-Men films, but it did include mutants, and it is too soon to bring them into the MCU on the back of that. Well, there you go, that's the reason. Given that the MCU has barely even acknowledged the Inhumans that were introduced through the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that group is a priority for Marvel Studios than the X-Men, since Ms. Marvel is coming to Disney Plus. Ms. Smithers. In contrast, the Fantastic Four have had less big screen presence, as they only had a 2-film series, as well as a reboot that bombed. It was terrible, critically and financially. As with the Inhumans, the Fantastic Four also have priority behind them, but because they hold the title of being Marvel's first family and are as an iconic part of the comics history, they aren't being brought to the MCU in the place of the X-Men to serve only mutant kind. They deserve high billing on their own. I totally agree with that. The last time the Fantastic Four appeared on the big screen was in 2015, so by the time they return to the MCU, they will have at least 6 years of distance from Josh Trank's Fantastic Four terrible film.
That's a good thing.
Add to the fact
good thing.
The very real selling point that can bring something entirely new into the MCU that only films haven't focused on too much. That's not to say that the X-Men project doesn't matter, but it would be foolish not to acknowledge the difficulty posed by the proximity to the just ended Fox franchise. And while little is known about Marvel Studios' Fantastic Four film, it will be an interesting couple of years to follow as Disney begin putting the project together. That will hopefully come with some news for the X-Men too. I think that's the correct way to do it, John. It's funny that, because I think there was maybe, if my calculations are right, I think between Batman and Robin and Batman Begins, there was, I think, a 7-year period. I think there was a 7.
It was certainly mid-90s Batman and Robin, wasn't it?
97.
97,
so 2005. So it's about an 8-year gap. So I thought that was too soon. When Batman Begins was announced, I thought, I don't like the sound of this.
I recall,
I was wrong, because it's my favourite Batman film.
Yeah, initially you weren't a fan of it.
No.
The concept. And then you watched it, obviously, like me, and thought, wow, this is sensational. And you watched it well before me, Stephen. I was late at the party with Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, so much so I didn't even get to see the Dark Knight in the theatres. I know you did. And the only one I seen in the theatres was the Dark Knight Rises, and it was probably the worst of the trilogy. It's still damn good though. We watched it in IMAX and getting to see Bane. Why shoot a man before you throw him out of a plane? I mean, that's still watching a Nolan film in IMAX is still pretty damn good. They're right what they say, Stephen. You need to leave a sizable gap between the Fox incarnation and what's to come from Marvel. I'll leave a gap of 10 years.
Yeah.
I've got to tell you, there's
happy
enough
with
going on
Yeah.
with the characters. You don't have to introduce the X-Men just now. The only issue I'd see is all of the OG Avengers will die out, and you'll maybe lose the potential to have an X-Men v Marvels sort of thing, Marvel v X-Men, which I think was a big plot within the comics. Certainly I've seen images of them facing off against each other. That'd be the only thing. The likes of Chris Hemsworth would be going, we already know Chris Evans is away, Robert Downey Jr. is away. Unless you replace them with different iterations of those characters, because we've already got Captain Sam, whatever the hell his name is. I don't know he is Captain. He's now a Captain. He's Captain America now. What is it? It's Sergeant Sam? Corporal Sam? I don't know. But Sam, is it Sam Wilson? Is that his name?
Yep.
Sam Wilson. There you go. I was trying to think. Anthony Mackie. We've got him playing Captain America now, potentially. Maybe we'll see what happens in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We know we're getting perhaps a new version of Hawkeye, maybe Haley Steinfeld. We may be getting Iron Laddie. There's talk, I think Kang the Conqueror was Iron Laddie. He sighed there. He didn't like it there, Harley. But we're getting different versions. We know we'll get Yelena, obviously played by Florence Pugh. She's going to be taking over for Black Widow. So it's possible. What I'm saying is
Scott Lang's daughter as well.
Scott Lang's daughter. We could have in 7-8 years' time these same characters in different veins, different forms, and they could do the Marvel v X-Men thing. But that'd be the only thing. Leaving it too late, you'd lose all of those OG sort of legacy Marvel characters. But they could do something with it. But there's enough going on, Stephen. You've got Shang-Chi, you've got the Eternals, you've got the Guardians of the Galaxy, you've got Thor, you've got Black Widow going off in a different... Not Black Widow, Black Panther going off in a different direction now because of the sad passing of Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
You've got lots of things going on, story-wise. You've got the Blade movie with Mahershala Ali. Lots going on. And then we've already seen the Russo brothers. It may have even been Joe Russo coming out and saying the definitive Fantastic Four movie still to come.
Yeah.
Hinting that we were getting a Fantastic Four movie, sharpish. And if you're getting John Krasinski in there, and that we already know there's a new backstory, origin story that speeds the process up and allows it to go right into the MCU. I recall we done a topic on that about a year ago or something like that, and it's like a new rejigged Fantastic Four origin story, and it allows it to be seamlessly put into an MCU type concept. So they're already laying the foundations, and it makes sense to bring them in. They're still looking for the definitive movie. It needs a good sort of... It needs something, man. The Fantastic Four, it's a great sort of IP within the comic world. It needs something, man. And we've seen definitive X-Men movies. X-Men 1 and 2, the last stand was shit. What was it, First Class and Days of Future Past? They were really good X-Men movies, so we've had them fairly recently. You can give it time to breathe. I've always maintained, finally, I'll let you in, I'm completely dominating this year. Slowly bring in the characters, the likes of Magneto, Wolverine, bring them in their own little cameos like we've done with Iron Man and things like that over the years. Give them like end credit scenes, post credit scenes.
You're right. We're saying give it a decade, but I think they've got no choice because I think Phase 4 and 5 are already mapped out anyway. You're right.
They're terrified about X-Men as well, using the name. It's sullied.
Yeah, I know. They're going to mutants. Seems to be the more common sort of phrase these days, which is... It's a travesty, but what can you do? The other thing as well, you touched on it, John, having that sort of crossover between the X-Men and the sort of original characters from the MCU that came in. It's just bad circumstances, isn't it? When Marvel obviously sold the rights in the 1990s to some of their largest properties to save them from going bankrupt. Try to recoup them back in has been a slow, painful process. They're never going to get Spider-Man back. I think we all accept that. Sony would be crazy to let go of that character, and I don't think there's any reason for them. I don't think all the money in the world right now could, pull that away from them. No. And they seem to have a good relationship anyway at the moment. So, as fans, we are the winners anyway. It doesn't really matter where it's coming from as long as it's in there. And it's the same with obviously the X-Men. I can wait a decade. Hulk as well, yeah. Universal was it? Yeah. Unfortunate, but what can you do? The only annoyance for the fans is probably on Disney Plus. You're not getting them in sequential order. You're missing out Hulk. You're missing out Spider-Man. When you're seeing them as collectively in that Infinity Saga. But I'm happy. I'm happy with the Fantastic Four. John, I always liked Fantastic Four and the animated stuff and the comics as well over X-Men. I don't know why. That was always my preference. I think it was because perhaps my brain couldn't take in all these characters from the X-Men world at the time when I was younger, and the Four seemed to fit for me. Just having the Four in there, it was a family unit, and just something identifiable about them as well. And having those villains in there as well, the likes of Doctor Doom, always interested me as well. And that sort of crossover with Spider-Man as well in the comics was something that appealed to me as well. So I'm quite happy about it as a fan. I'll look forward to it. I didn't like the Josh Trank one. I liked the one Chris Evans ironically was in, way back in the early 2000s, and then there was the sequel, The Silver Surfer. 2 decent attempts, but I think Marvel and Kevin Feige will bring that to another level, and I think they'll do it. They'll do it naturally, John. It'll be as organic as it can be. Yeah. They've done it up to now that everything's been organic. The fact that no one, doesn't really matter what you think about the actress who plays Captain Marvel. Can't really remember. Brie Larson. Yeah. It's that important to me. Her arc.
I was blanking on Anthony Mackie earlier, Stephen. Could you tell? Captain Sam.
Her arc came in the second last film before Endgame. Was it the second last film before Endgame? I think was it?
It was the film before Endgame, yeah.
Yeah.
It came out first and then Endgame.
And it's set in the 1990s. Now, talk about shoehorning, but it was an organic way, and when she makes her appearance in Endgame, to save Tony Stark, I don't think there was anybody in the audience were like, oh, come on. It was a great scene.
It was. And Stephen, they're setting up that show.
Yeah.
With your man, Nick Fury.
Yeah.
And the Skrull sort of invasion of...
The Skrull, the
Kree, invading Earth.
Yeah.
We're getting a TV show based on that. So even though it may have felt shoehorned in a sense, but it wasn't, it was organic. Everything's thought out. They're thinking out all of the possibilities. Where can we take this arc? Nick Fury's been off planet.
John, can you not see that with Star Wars now, though?
Yeah.
It's as if Star Wars or Lucasfilm are looking at Marvel now and going, yeah, let's do it this way. Let's put in Ahsoka. Let's just give her an episode, and then in a month's time, not even a month, maybe 2 weeks it was, 3 weeks, we'll announce our show.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Boba Fett as well. But I don't think that's the end of it, John. No. I don't really want to see the Mandalorian becoming this sort of cameo-filled television show. I want it to be show. Yeah, I want it to be its. I know. I want it to be its own thing. I want it
with
to.
Luke.
Well, that could be the last one. Then we'll let him in. With obviously.
See, I'm absolutely convinced Luke Skywalker is going to train Grogu. I'm convinced. There's not many Jedi in this universe at that time period. I think there's a couple floating around, but I want Luke in there. I want Sebastian Stan. Get it done. I was looking at photographs the other day. The guy is eerie. It's like he's the son of Mark Hamill. It's terrifying.
But tall son,
but man, you can do things with that. If you can shrink Billy Connolly, a 6-foot guy, into a dwarf in The Hobbit, anything's possible. If you
can shrink Chris Evans into that sort of little weedy
skinny
character,
dweeb,
you can do anything.
Stephen, final thing I'll add before we move on to the next topic. I'm going to destroy your sort of transition, because we were speaking about Star Wars. We're going to be speaking about Star Wars, but you're absolutely right what he says about Fantastic Four. It being a 4 sort of family unit. Easily to sell that as a sub-compartmentalised franchise. Easy to contain it, whereas the X-Men, it just goes on and on and on and on. There's so many characters. It's its own universe within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so harder to introduce them and then keep it contained, whereas with Fantastic Four you can contain it into like an Ant-Man movie with its own villain.
6 might have to just be the X-Men.
It could be.
That's how big they are,
That's true.
We're going to move on now to Star Wars. I couldn't do the transition, but it doesn't matter, because when this is clipped it will be seamless anyway. Star Wars Rogue Squadron is an original story. It won't adapt books or games. Director Patty Jenkins says that the Star Wars Rogue Squadron movie will be entirely original, while still honouring past Rogue Squadron stories. I had the game for this, John, back in the mid-90s.
I vaguely recall having it as well, Stephen.
Now, before I read the article, and I've read the article, but even before I read the article earlier, I knew the reason for it, because Luke Skywalker and Wedge Antilles are big parts of Rogue Squadron. They're not going to do that, obviously, and I actually agree with Patty Jenkins. This has to be an original story for this Rogue Squadron. I don't know if you saw the video for it. It's not what do they call that? A
sizzle reel.
Sizzle reel, yeah.
I tell you what, she can't act.
No,
that's what I'll tell you.
But it was still good.
Great director, but the line delivery horrendous. Stuttering all over the place.
Yeah,
but we'll let her off.
We'll let her off it.
She's used to being behind the camera.
She's a good director. But
getting performances out of Gal Gadot, which is a task on his own. I was about to say something there. That's
for another show, John. But in an interview with IGN, Jenkins said her Rogue Squadron film will take inspiration from pre-existing Rogue Squadron stories, but the plot will be wholly original. She said, "We're doing something original with the great influence from the games and the books. There's a lot of things being acknowledged and understood about the greatness of all these things, but yes, It's an original story, and I'm so psyched to do it. Well, we're psyched as well, Patty. Can't wait
So
for this.
psyched, man. I'm stoked.
Stoked, yeah.
Can't believe it. We're getting a Rogue Squadron film. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Gee golly whiz.
Yeehaw.
Hoo-ha.
Anyway, I'll let you in, John.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, Jesus.
What's your thoughts on this?
Very excited, Stephen. As I did say briefly, I didn't have all the information when it was breaking. I was walking my dog and all of this was breaking. I'm like, what's going on here? I set the stream up as an R-rated Disney Plus thing, and this was all breaking. I'm like, shit, I've screwed up. It was too late.
Yeah.
I had to go with
John,
it.
I was tempted to change the heading of that show and try and do but I was like, no, you know something, it is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is, as Joe Pesci famously told Frank Sheeran. It wasn't Joe Pesci though, it was the character.
Joe Pesci was
Joe Pesci says to a gangster back in the 1970s. No, it was Robert De Niro he spoke to. Tell him it is what it is. Stephen, it is what it is. It's a really interesting concept. We've not had a fighter sort of pilot Rogue Squadron Star Wars movie, and as I says at the time, I like the more boots on the ground movies. Get away from this concept of continually having the Force and Jedi in there, the big sort of cosmic questions.
Like Rogue One.
Rogue One, exactly. It was a boots on the ground war movie, and that's probably why it's the best performing Star Wars movie from Disney. It wasn't. It was Force Awakens, but critically, people seem to like that the best. I certainly I've watched that the most. Yeah. I've watched it the most of any of the Disney Star Wars movies. I will not touch the sequel trilogy with a barge pole now. I'll go back and watch your man Adam Driver. I see it. I see the island. Yeah. You're my guest. I'll watch scenes like that, but I won't watch the movies anymore because it's sullied the Skywalker saga. These are different. They're disconnected, but they've still got that thread of connection. That's what you need to see. And this thread of connection to the era, different storytelling, boots in the ground, away from the echelons of the galaxy. There you go. I'm using big fancy words, the Force and all of that crap. And this is what she's the perfect director to do it, Steve. She rightfully said in that little sizzle video. She's got connections to the Air Force. Her father was it, her grandfather?
That was her father, yeah.
Her father was an air fighter pilot.
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense. A fighter pilot, not an air fighter pilot.
In the air.
Generally, you have to be in the air to be a fighter pilot. You can't do it in the ground, running around. Doesn't really work, does it? So she's got that connection. She understands the camaraderie that goes with this sort of profession, and I think she'll imbue that into the movie. She's a military child, like Mark Hamill was, incidentally, all over the world.
Yeah.
She'll imbue that into the story. It'll have that sort of realism, the grittiness, which is what you need. And Tony Gilroy, I think, is probably going to be hovering around at some point as well. I know he's doing that. I think he's doing one of the... Was it the Cassianando? Maybe he'll give us some help with how to do a boots in the ground, gritty Star Wars movie. I sincerely hope he does. But she's a great action director. We've seen it with Wonder Woman, and this is her stepping away from that franchise and coming over to Marvel Disney. And I think it's going to be brilliant, man. It'll be casting will be key.
Yeah, you touch on Wonder Woman, the first movie, and where it was set. You know, it was very ground level in World War One. You know, and it was an authentic feel to it as well, and that's down to Patty Jenkins. And I think this is right down her street. This obviously her personal sort of experience with her father as well will play into this as well. With I'm sure he would have told her lots of stories about what he was getting up to and stuff like that, inspiring her to write and direct a very good ground level. We say ground level, but it's probably going to be in there most of the time. But the actual game, John, I don't know if you ever played Rogue Squadron.
I think I did.
It was a fantastic game. I think it was one of the first ones I played from LucasArts, if you remember that division of Lucas.
An Indiana Jones game, top down with a whip and all that.
I tell you something, it was the worst thing that Lucasfilm did was, cut that division off, because they made a really good Star Wars game, and Rogue Squadron was one of them. And I don't know if Mark Hamill voiced Luke Skywalker in the game. I can't remember, but it was a very good impression, and it was a very good game as well, because you were hearing all the sort of voices coming through the intercoms on your X-Wing, and it was just it was exhilarating, you know. And I can't wait to see what they're going to do with this, because we've not had anything based primarily on, you know, a squad of pilots, and it's always great to see them. I always thought those cameos in Rogue One was fantastic, John. We got the Blue Squadron, we get the Red Squadron coming in as well, and everyone was just blown away. The Gold Squadron as well. Steve,
there's something about it, the way they rig them up, the way they bounce about. Big, what was his name? Porkins, bouncing about, and the sounds and stuff like that. It's just amazing if you can capture that in a full movie, and it's about it, and just the camaraderie and the military side of things. Obviously, again, casting and time periods and all of that, that will really determine how successful it is.
Yeah.
You really have to have a cast at work, the chemistry, the
I think
charisma.
it would be during the sort of reign of the Empire, John. I would imagine it would be.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best era, isn't it? I'm actually looking at the
So far,
helmet,
anyway.
and I'm trying to work out where that helmet is from, what era that's
The
from.
one she's wearing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It's a
Not
strange
really
one,
sure.
isn't it?
It's a good one though.
It is.
That
love one of those
that
helmets.
was the coolest part of the sizzle reel for me, was when she put the helmet on.
Yeah,
And then
walked
she's
away.
walking towards the X-wing.
Well, that would give us a clue about the X-Wing, what model it was. That
Yeah.
would maybe give us a clue. I
Possibly,
think
yeah.
old original trilogy era, Galactic Civil War.
I think so. People will moan about that.
Yeah.
We're going back there again, but
Oh, they are.
that's the best part just now. And I think Patty Jenkins always made it clear that she was done and dusted after a third Wonder Woman film, whether or not that will take place. I think it will.
Yeah.
But she'll be done with that sort of franchise by that point anyway. And if she enjoys doing Rogue Squadron, she might dabble into doing more Star Wars films as well. I'd like to see that. Fantastic director, John. But we're going to move on
A first
to-
female director of a Star Wars movie.
for a movie, I think. Yeah,
That's iconic, really.
yeah.
Historical.
Yeah, such a landmark. But we'll move on, John, to our final topic. It's Vijay's Master is the most tweeted South Indian movie of 2020. The microblogging site recently released a list of top 10 movie hashtags of the year. This is coming in from cinemaexpress.com, and I am about to butcher the Indian language, John. You might have to help me here. So, according to Twitter, India, throwing you under the bus,
Help you. I
running
can't
away.
speak either. Do you know what I'm good at when it comes to India is eating the food,
Yeah.
which I had like tonight incidentally.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, so I heard.
Chani puri.
Yeah, very nice. According to
Chickpeas.
Twitter, India, Vijay's
Love Indian
upcoming
food.
film Master was the most tweeted South Indian movie hashtag of the year. The microblogging site recently released a list of top 10 South Indian movie hashtags of the year, while Master took the pedestal. Pawan Kalyan's Vakil Saab came second. Superstar Rajinkath's Darbar, which received only a lukewarm response from the audience, came 10th in the list. Notably, out of the top 5 names, only Suriya's Surarai Putru was released this year. Don't you laugh, because I'm about to throw you under the bus. Was released this year. Master Ajit Kumar's Valimar, Pawan Kalyan's Vakil Saab, and Mahesh Babu's Sarkaru Vari Pata are all films that are yet to be released. We'll have to keep an eye out for them, John. Now, just down that list, there is a full list of the top 10. I don't know if you want to attempt those, John.
I'll do my very best.
Yeah.
I'll
I
struggle
think
to
I've
see
covered
them.
most of them, but
I'll struggle to see them, Steve, but we have Master.
at number
I'm
one,
going to
yeah.
bring it. I'll tell you what, I'll bring it up on my iPad and we'll try my very best
Yeah,
here.
so this is...
Because I can't read, because I have geriatric 90-year-old eyes and I'm 31. Tragedy, really. Master Vakil Saab is in at number 2. Vali Mai is 3. Sakaru Vari Pata is 4. Sarari Potru, which we just put a reaction out to, very interesting looking movie. It's about a guy kickstarting a budget airline. Interesting, that's in at 5. Triple R looks incredible. That's probably the best trailer I've ever reacted to, I tell you that. It's the joint one, isn't it? The two brothers, or two, not brothers, two men from different sides of India come together in the sort of war fight. Pushpa's 7, Saraliru Niki Varu is 8, KGF Chapter 2, I cannot wait to see that movie, haven't seen the first one, Yash, and Darbar is number 10, so Stephen, look, we reacted to Master. It was a very, very interesting trailer. It was a kind of slow burn for a lot of it, then it exploded into action. There was a fist pump that I used as the thumbnail. He's knocking the shit out of people left, right and centre. It looks like a very interesting one, and obviously, as you did say, Vijay, I think it is Telepathy, they're calling him. This guy's an absolute superstar.
Yeah.
We had people commenting on my video saying he's not opened his mouth and it's the most liked trailer teaser of 2020
on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Yeah,
so
amazing.
Guy has the power. He's got the power. I've got the power.
He has.
And obviously there's a lot of people, a lot of actors over in India who seem to be superstars. That, sadly, I'm just dipping my toes into it now and I'm starting to know these people like Vijay Devgan and Prabhas and Yash and Sukra,
but John,
that's his name, Sharat Khan.
It doesn't come as a surprise that on Twitter, this upcoming film Master is the most tweeted South Indian movie hashtag.
Oh, because this guy's an absolute.
Yeah.
He's the tour de force is the best I can come up with.
We can measure sort of how popular something is by doing trailer reactions. That's probably the best way we can measure how that is in the feedback.
18,000 views, was it?
18,500 views, John, on our trailer reaction, which is
very popular.
Which is always appreciated.
Watching us, gimps.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. And it's a learning process for us. Sometimes we might come off a little bit. Not knowledgeable, but it's
we had a lot of people saying it's a Collywood movie.
Yeah,
and
but we didn't say it wasn't.
Yeah, I said it was. I think I said Bollywood for KGF
Yeah.
once, and I learnt my lesson very quickly. I was told that was a Sandalwood movie, and I learnt very quickly. Nope, don't open your mouth up. There's many industries within India.
Yeah.
So I've not made that mistake again. But we've been told it's a Collywood movie. So
John, but it's all part of the learning process for us.
Well,
And
I appreciate it.
We do
Yes,
appreciate
I do.
everyone that comments and keeps us right on these things, because sometimes we might come across as idiots. We are, when it comes to Indian films generally, but we are getting there. I think, John, the last 3 months, I think that's when we started. It's been an exciting journey. Got a lot to sort of obviously digest. We're in the middle of doing Scam 1992. We're not in the middle of it. We're finishing it next week, actually.
This week?
And this will finish. This will free us up to do more movie reviews as well. So
what to do, Kaify?
Can't wait.
Kaify, and then that one, was it Sultan?
Yeah.
Was it Sultan? The one with
John,
the
there's a whole host of them. I'm desperate to see.
What was the guy with the sort of? I think it was the Sikh guy. He was fighting for the British Army, and he get. I think he get an award.
Yeah.
Something like that. Was very interesting. There's been a whole host of Indian movies we've reacted to that I'm very intrigued by. I like Bali. There's something and Hadun. The one with the blind guy, that looks brilliant. That's Stephen. That may be one we have to do actually.
I think so.
Hadun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not surprised. Master's the most tweeted South Indian movie of the year. Just Indian movie probably of the year. South Indian movie, because this guy's an absolute superstar. We learnt very quickly. Telepathy. He's that much of a superstar. He's got his own nickname, and it doesn't even rhyme or match up or marry with Vijay. So doesn't surprise me. It's probably for this guy alone, really. And look, every single Indian superstar actor has got the best head of hair. I'm so jealous of these guys. Not only do they grow out amazing beards, but the head of hair is a joke.
Yeah.
Like Ranveer Singh, as I keep saying, Prabhas. These guys just look as though they're permanently get a blow dried on them. It brings me back, Stephen, to 5 years ago when I had a beautiful head of hair, and it was nice and long and kind of thick, and now I'm a slap head, and I'm like the guy in Bali, and it depresses me.
5 years is a long time.
5 years is a very long time. That was when I was a mid-20s guy, and now I'm
John,
in
this
the 30s.
January will
Horrendous.
be our 4th year anniversary at MBE.
That's incredible.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Back in the dark days, Stephen, 4 years ago, when we were reviewing
we
every
used
day.
to write reviews and it would kill us. We moved on to podcast.
It nearly destroyed my love of movies.
Yeah, then we eventually went on to YouTube, and then we eventually went live. So it's been a
by
journey.
accident, after having the Rona.
Yeah.
We had coronavirus, we came back, we done live, and it was a disaster. But we've got there, slowly but surely. I think we've got there. There's always room for improvement, and we are improving all the time. But look, Stephen, I'm done, man.
I'm done and dusted.
I'm done speaking about Master, I'm done speaking about Vijay. What's your thoughts on that? Is that something you're surprised about, that Master's the most tweeted South Indian movie of 2020? It certainly doesn't surprise me, based off the reaction and views. It was trending within like a day of releasing that teaser. What do you make about Star Wars Rogue Squadron being a completely new and unique story? Is that something that excites you? Patty Jenkins coming to a galaxy far, far away. What do you make about Fantastic Four getting its outing, its bow, if you like, before X-Men? Is that something you agree with? What do you make about Disney Plus smashing that 86 million subscribers mark? And finally, Guillermo del Toro's next feature-length movie, Nightmare Alley. It's wrap filming. What a cast. What was your thoughts on that? Dark underbelly of Hollywood entertainment in general. If you've got anything to say about any of the topics, you can comment below and let us know what your thoughts are down below in the comments section. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more movie news content like this in the future. And if you do, that's what you'll get, more movie news, and it'll be clipped as well, because Stephen's clipping now and it's not me, so it'll actually get done. Unlike me, I kind of leave audio shows to go up for 2 weeks and then I have to do it all in the one night, and I'm up to 3:30, 4 in the morning doing it. But look, I digress. We've got a professional on board now, so it'll actually get done. But look, until then, if you subscribe, we'll see you again. If you don't, we'll bid you farewell with a bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.